Today I am featuring matcha. Matcha is a Japanese green tea that is specially grown in Japan, that is 4-shade grown. So the plant is stressed and produces a high amount of chlorophyll and potency of all of its nutrients and antioxidants. And our matcha won first place at the North American Tea Championships. It is a very specially grown green powder. It should be a bright, brilliant green color that isn't actually colored. It's just that the plant is stressed so much that right before it's about to wither and turn yellow, it turns into a bright green color. And when you make matcha, you want to have a chasen, and a shishaku is optional because that's just the scoop that you use to measure out your matcha. You want warm temperature water that is about 175. If it's too hot, it will end up burning the matcha. The first thing you want to do is kind of warm up your chasen because over time it ends up splitting. So you'll lose parts of your little piece of bamboo. This is a single bamboo that's been split and has special knots tied into it to stay open. And then every other thread, they pull it out to alternate to make a really effective whisk. So the matcha is half a micron fine of a powder, and it's so fine that you can't just take a regular cooking whisk to mix it very well. The fiber on the bamboo helps it grab onto the matcha powder, so it dissolves it a lot better. However, there are people who do put this in smoothies and shakes as an additive. It has a really nice green tea flavor that's bold and potent, but it should not be bitter. Typically, that's a lower grade matcha that's probably been machine processed, but our award-winning matcha is all hand processed and is the top leaves. So I'm just going to discard the water that I used to warm up my bowl. And then I have my matcha powder here, and I'm just going to take about a teaspoon of matcha. And we've had lots of people have a lot of success in weight loss for matcha. What they did was they only drank 1 bowl a day, which we make it in a bowl so the whisk has room to froth it up. It's turning into this bright, brilliant green color. And I suggest people to only drink 1 bowl a day because caffeine in tea is higher than coffee, actually, dry form to dry form. But typically you're drinking tea leaves, so, or like the broth of it. So this is consuming the whole pure meat of the leaf. So you don't have all the stems and the veins in it, and it's ground into a powder, so it's the whole matcha, and you're getting 100% of the caffeine too. So if you drink 3 bowls of it, you probably had more than 3 shots of espresso. And the tea plant has different components in it, so the caffeine is bound to these different components in your bloodstream, so the caffeine stays in your bloodstream longer than it would in coffee. Typically you get a spike and a crash with coffee, but with matcha you just kind of keep going. So people say they feel great, they feel amazing, super happy, super focused and alert when they drink matcha. So sometimes when you drink 3 bowls of matcha, you might be a little intense for some of your friends and coworkers around you. For the person who's just wanting a healthy beverage every day to make them feel good, this is definitely for you, especially if you're not caffeine sensitive. So this is the matcha, and we had a customer who came in every month and bought a container of matcha. 1 container can last you about a month if you're to have matcha every day on Monday through Friday. And she lost 10 pounds. She said she didn't exercise any, she didn't change her diet, she just felt healthy. She felt like she didn't have to eat as much, probably because she was getting the nutrients she was lacking in this green superfood. And all you do is just drink it from the bowl. You can pour this into another cup if you want. If you want to put cold water, you can shake it in one of those blender bottles. And that's matcha for you. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.